This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley, and I am the host of the Ghost Gossip Podcast. And today I have two very special guests in the studio. We have Cavan. He has been here before. Welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
And we have Aaron, who is new. Welcome.
Hello.
So I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves. Tell me what you are working on, and we are going to just roll out from here.
Well, it's good to be back, Ashley. For those that didn't listen to the previous episode that I was on about our special project, Borden, a new musical, I'm Cavan Hendron. I am the creator and one of the book writers on Borden.
And I'm Aaron Roitman. I'm a creative in New York City, and I am the co-book writer of Borden the Musical.
We were talking before we started. You both have known each other for a while.
Yeah, we're both from Kentucky, so when we moved up here to New York, we got connected through other Kentucky people, met a couple times at a couple different parties, and yeah.
It's just that those social scenes where you run into each other at a birthday party or a random, I think it was a graduation party where we first met. And then all of a
Yes.
sudden, here we are all this
Yeah.
time later.
I know.
And
It's
so
crazy.
are y'all both in New York, like relatively close to each other now as well?
Yeah, we get together and we have writing sessions and stuff here in the city with our show running producer, Audrey, and our director, Neetha. And it's been really great to have the team all here so we can get together and work on this. It's been really great.
That is so cool. That is like serendipitous.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels that way. It's nice working on something with another Kentuckian. It's nice working with someone who's so passionate about this material in the same way that I am. I guess Cavan, I guess probably talked about it in the last episode you were on about why you wanted to start it and everything and in your connection to Lizzie.
Yeah, it's been really great, though, getting to bring Aaron, Audrey, and Neetha on since Ashley, we last talked. I mean, the show has grown so much since then in terms of what its identity as a piece is and everything like that. And it's been really exciting. And I'm really sad we didn't get to meet up
I know.
in Fall River because we were in Fall River at the same time. Me, Aaron, and Audrey were there at the same time you were there.
What?
No. Yes.
It was we were at the Historical Society and we were in our meeting and I had missed Ashley's phone calls and I was like, no.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
I was stalking outside. I was like, I'm just going to sit here for a minute because we were going to Salem. But I was sitting out there and I was like, let's just wait because they might answer the phone and they're probably busy, but let's just wait. And my husband's like, whatever you want to do. And so we were just waiting out there. And then I was like, okay, well, we got to go. Because we had a long drive. And I was like, and then it was like, what, 30 minutes after I left? And I was like, ah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that was a really cool day. That was really, really cool. Bummed we missed you, but we got to talk to the Historical Society. We were in there for like 3 hours, like just talking to them. They were kind of talking at us for a lot of it, but they're just wells of knowledge
Yes.
that we would ask them anything. They know everything about Fall River. They know every piece of gossip.
I received some pictures and I was like, ooh, I would have missed me too.
It was really cool. I mean, it was one of those things where these are images that I've only ever seen in books. And then the fact that we walked into that room and there was the hatchet head, the blanket that was on the bed where Abby Borden was killed, a piece of Abby Borden's hair, like her hair extension, a photo of them. It was just all of these things. It was like a treasure chest of goodies walking into that. It was like, oh my God, like for any true crime fanatic,
Yeah.
just like a wet dream. Lack of a better word. That's what it was like. I mean, all these things that you've seen in textbooks and documentaries, but then when they're there in front of you, it's a completely different feeling. Very, very sobering in terms of,
Yeah.
being in the same room as those.
And I just left the Lizzie Borden house. And so just seeing that in person for the first time ever. Aaron, have you seen it? Have you been? I'm guessing you
Yeah,
have?
that night, we spent the night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I mean, it is sobering. It's like you understand the gravity of the crime and you understand the details and the background of it all, but actually being there and being in that space specifically,
Yeah.
there are no hallways, right?
No.
The walls are thin. It brings a whole different dynamic to what you know, and just it makes everything feel more human,
Mhm.
and you can't help but feel a connection towards the space and the case when you're I mean, being there. It's crazy.
And that was one of the things I was gonna say earlier, but I think I got sidetracked. That's been so special about working on this with Aaron and Audrey and Nitha, having them come on board because I have been in this world for so long, and then being able to bring people in that are also excited about it in the way that I am, it make like, every time we end a phone call, a text message, chat, I just am so giddy because I feel like I have found the group that is needed to tell the story.
I love
And
that.
the fact that we were able to go to the house together and spend the night and have this experience, and the fact that, like, every time we talk, we're all on the same wavelength about things, and it's just been a very refreshing, exciting chapter, and I'm really excited for what's next as we keep going down the rabbit hole with it.
Well, tell me what is new other than Aaron and your other 2 that you mentioned? What is changing from when we met? What was that? What, April-ish?
April, I think, yeah.
Ish? Yeah. What's new with the show?
I mean, well, we're still telling it through Emma's eyes, so that is still the same. That has been something that is the core of the story. So if anything, what's changed is just the fact that we're really honing in on that more than we were before.
Yeah, a lot more. I think a big difference between the last couple drafts and the one that we're working on now is that every scene has is gonna have Emma in it. We're not really we're focused more on her journey through the case and through the trial and during that time and what it does to someone's psyche.
Mhm.
Having that happen to your family, and forever being connected to this horrible murder that happened. Kind of just delving into what that does to yourself,
Yeah.
what that does in terms of paranoia, um, doubt, love, really examining those things and having that be more of the subject of the piece and less so the literal information because a lot of people know the Borden story and we are still walking folks through it, but it's going to be a more specific lens. And I think that putting it through Emma's eyes has always been the move, I think, just because this is a story that we don't want to give our audience a solid, yes or no to to what could have happened. That's not
Right.
our job. We will never know. So having focusing our story on someone that was not there during the murders, I think is like it's great because we can speculate without giving any concrete opinion,
Mhm.
and we can explore all of the rumors and the gossip that was happening at the time, through a character who does not know for sure, even if she says she does, even though she is defending Lizzie to the very end
Right.
publicly. We don't know what she was thinking or what conversations she was having behind closed doors. It was never
Yeah.
recorded. Emma is also we know compared to Lizzie, we know nearly nothing about her.
Yeah.
We know a few things. There are a couple of interviews out there, but she lived a very private life after all of this. There aren't even any pictures of her that we can find of her after this time, you know?
Wow.
So we are putting it through her eyes is a gift because it does let us explore a lot more in a way that is interesting theatrically.
And kind of speaking on gifts, I will say something that's changed is we have a new addition to the Borden fam, one that we're absolutely honored to have, and that is Cara Robertson. She's the world's leading Lizzie Borden historian. She has been studying the Lizzie Borden case for the past 3 decades. She wrote a best selling book called The Trial Lizzie Borden. Everyone go read it.
I'll have it linked in
It's
the show
so
notes.
good.
But that book has really become the Bible for our show in a lot of ways. I mean, we reference it a lot. The equivalent we've been comparing it to is how when Lin-Manuel Miranda did Hamilton, he
Mhm.
did it off of that autobiography about Alexander Hamilton. So, like, being able to have something that we can kind of, in that same way, refer to for certain important parts, like when we're figuring out the sequence of the trial or when we're doing X, Y, and Z. The fact that we have that book, but then we also have the author on our team
Mhm.
that we can then pick up the phone and call and say, "Hey, we're working on this section. What do you think of this?" Or "What do you think about this?" And we're so lucky to have such a wealth of knowledge around us that we have been able to bring a part of the show between Michael and Dennis at the Historical Society and Cara, and it's just been incredible to have that community with us along the way.
Yeah, and when you were talking about what it does to somebody who is a part of something that happened that was so horrific and traumatic, it ripped their lives apart. Like, it ripped their sisterhood apart.
Yeah.
And just being at the house and walking through it and just seeing, like, everything that I've seen on TV and internet and everything, and then just seeing it firsthand and, like, being where they were, it was chilling, it was moving, it was powerful, and I'm not sure if you've ever noticed this, I have a picture of Karen, who was our tour guide when we
I
went
love
through.
Karen.
She was wonderful, but there was a picture of Lizzie in the house with her little dog on her lap.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Karen looks like Lizzie at in that picture, and I have a
she does,
picture,
you're
and I was
right.
like, "Ah."
It's been really great to get to know the staff at the house too. I mean, Aaron and Audrey
Oh
got
my
to
gosh.
experience it firsthand whenever we went. They're just incredible
They're
there.
so sweet. They're so about it. I don't think I've ever met such passionate people. Genuinely, they are so gung ho about all of this, and they are continuously they're ravenous for more information about it, and they're ravenous for anything that's uncovered or anything that's been released. They are on top of it. And they also and it's great because they feel responsible for telling this story, right? Because
Yes.
they are the ones in there every day. So when new information is found out or revealed, they will adjust their
Mhm.
tours to make sure that they are giving the most unbiased information that that they can because they don't want to glorify any specific part of the story. They wanna just make sure that they're telling the truth and what we know to the best of their ability, and it's awesome. It's so great, which is what we're trying to do as well.
Mhm.
Um, so it's great being able to talk to people like that and compare notes and speculate with each other, and, um, it's great.
Ashley,
Yeah.
I want to know whenever you went, because me and Aaron, all of our team, whenever we went to the house, we each had like a room, I think, that kind of spoke to us in like an energy type of way
Mhm.
Mhm.
that really felt heavy. I'm interested, which one did you feel that when you were at the house?
John Morris's room. I was
That's the
in
one where
the
Abby was killed, right?
Yes. I was in there. The whole house is a vibe, and I'm sensitive, so I walk in and I'm like, "Oof, hello." And I'm pretty sure now it could have been a floater, but when I was in the living room where Mr. Borden died, I saw a black shadow over Karen's head as she was talking about his death. And I
Mm.
remember because my husband was standing in the corner on the far side of the couch, and Karen was standing in the doorway between the dining room and the living room, and there was something black, like, over her, and I was like, "That's weird." But I didn't feel, like, off kilter until I went upstairs, and I was standing, and I looked over, and that portrait's on the wall, and I was like, "I don't like you." And
Mhm.
I just, like, turned back around, and I told my husband, "I feel real funny up here." I started getting a headache, I started getting dizzy, it was like,
Mm.
"Okay." That room was heavy,
Heavy. Yeah,
heavy.
for
Who
sure.
stayed
Mine
in
was
that room?
oddly, I stayed in that room last December, and that was the room that I got the least amount of sleep in terms of
I
things in
bet.
the house. And
That's
it
a
was I never saw anything in there, but it was
You feel
the
it.
energy of being in
Ugh,
that room, especially when the lights went off, was something that I have never felt before.
ugh.
I don't know. I didn't care to know.
Yeah, that I was wondering who stayed in there this past time because they kept saying, "Don't sit on anything, we have people coming in." I was like, "I know the people coming."
No, we didn't stay in there. We stayed in Abby and Andrew's room in their closet that's been renovated into a room.
Mhm.
That's where we stayed, and I slept like a baby.
I did too. In that room, I did too. I knocked out.
Man, I knocked out. Audrey, on the other hand, could not go to bed. But yeah, we had some spooky stuff happen while we were there. Some oh yes, some whispers.
Ooh.
We did the ghost hunting tour later in the night, and well, okay, so when we first got into our room, Audrey and I walked in, and one of the cabinets next to the bed just swung right open, and I was like, "Well, hello, hi." And
Hi.
Audrey was really freaked out, but that's like, I'm about it, you know? I let it in. It didn't feel that's the other thing about the house is, to me, like, it felt heavy in some ways, but it really felt like a home. Like, it felt cozy and
Yes.
like a place that's been lived in, and
Mhm.
I didn't really feel anything negative about the space, and I also wasn't nervous to be there at all, even when things like that would happen. Or there was a moment where we were coming down the stairs by the kitchen, and I clear as day I don't know if you heard it, Caven, but, like, and I know Audrey heard this, but she denies it, but she reacted to it in the moment. But there was, like a man whispering, like, right behind us as we were coming down the stairs, and it was loud, and it was,
Well,
but
see, I thought that I had heard it, but then when you both went behind the stairs, I was like, "Oh, that was definitely something that happened,"
Mhm.
because both turned around to look at me, so
Oh, yeah, I mean, that happened, but also we got so much activity on all of our equipment that they handed out, and, like, very intelligent responses too.
Mhm.
Which that was my first time ever using equipment. So, yeah, I mean, I'm always a bit of a skeptic going into that kind of thing, just because I don't know how this stuff works. I'm not an expert on any of it, but we were asking some very, very specific questions and getting very specific answers from them. So,
That's very
um,
cool.
it was so cool.
I wish I had longer. I think next time I go, going to Fall River and Salem in the same day was not a great choice, but in the
it's a
time
long
frame
trip.
that we were working with, that's kinda I wanted to see both.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna, like, pick and choose, so that's what we had to do. I'll tell you what, the drive to Salem from Fall River, it's not far, but it took a long time.
Yeah. Did you hit a lot of traffic?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Every single light going into Salem too, like, from Boston, like, once we got back into Boston, going into Salem, we got every light,
Yeah.
every single one, and I was like, "It's only 14 miles.
Yeah.
Why is it taking 50 minutes?" Now
Yeah.
I know.
Salem is cool. I've only been to Salem once, but it was so beautiful.
It is
And those
beautiful.
historic houses are,
Beautiful.
yeah, beautiful.
I will say
Yeah.
that was also how I felt about Fall River the first time I went to Fall River, especially when you're up in the hill by the Historical Society with
Mhm.
all of those old Gilded Age mansion
Yes.
houses up there. Oh my gosh, it's stunning. I mean,
It is stunning.
I see why Lizzie wanted it so bad.
Right,
Yeah,
It's
because
it's
like, on the
beautiful.
other side of Fall River, it's not stunning.
yeah,
Well, and the vibes of them, because that was the flats, that's where all the mills and the mill workers lived, and I think that
Mhm.
it's really telling even over 130 years later that the architecture and the vibe of certain areas is still reminiscent in some ways of what it was then. I mean, you have
Yeah.
that side still a lot of the factories and a lot of the working places are still down there in what would be the flats versus the hill. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we ended up in Rhode Island by accident. Didn't mean to. We were
didn't
there for,
plan it.
like, nope, about 2.5 seconds. I was like, "Wait, welcome to Rhode Island. We're in Rhode Island?" And then we were back in Massachusetts, and I was like, "Whoa, it was a roundabout." We
Oh,
went on a
yeah.
roundabout.
It's
You
a
did a
weird
little
little
wraparound.
We sure did, and I was
Yep.
like, "Okay." And so we drove all the way through Fall River to Rhode Island and then back. So, got a good tour of Fall River.
I love that.
say it was really nice getting to go up there with Aaron and Audrey because we got to drive by Maplecroft and see
Yes.
Yeah.
house up there, and I wish they were still open um, to doing tours because it used
Mm,
to be open for tours, but now it's a private residence. But
Yeah.
yeah.
who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to make a phone call and see if we can get in or something.
Yeah, I wonder if there's, like, an ordinance on that house to where you can't renovate it. I wonder if they've done any renovation.
Not to the interior because I know with those historical houses, because we
Right.
talked with someone at the Borden house, there's certain things, like you were saying, that you can and cannot do with historical houses in terms of
Mhm.
renovations, but
Mhm.
they did, and if they're listening to this, I apologize, I'm gonna speak my opinions, owners of Maplecroft. I hate the color that you painted the house.
Same. I have a picture because I was that person hanging out my window. I'm like, "Don't stop. They have video surveillance, but I'm gonna take a picture."
Absolutely.
Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, it's not attractive outside.
It's not
It's a
cute.
bright pastel yellow, and I
Yes,
was like,
I was
Yeah.
"Really? That's what we're
like,
gonna go with?"
y'all, I'll post a picture. I seriously was like so excited and I saw it and I was like, "Is that it?"
Yeah,
Mm.
I
Okay, keep
know.
driving.
It's really crazy though to think about the thought, to sing their praises again at the Borden house for that museum and everything, that they have really gone to the extent of finding, like, what the paint color and all of that stuff was, so
Mhm.
everything that you see on that house is as accurate as possible to what it
Mhm.
was in 1892, and I'm even looking at I sent a picture recently in our group chat that we have for the show that was kind of like a plot of what the house looked like then, and including the backyard, and I didn't realize how large the pear orchard was. They had, like, the in the backyard of the house. There was, like, a whole separation from the barn. I'll send you the picture, Ashley, from the barn to the back where you can see this essentially, like, little orchard area
Wow.
in the back where all the pear trees were, and I was like, "Wow,
Like, further back from where that parking lot ends. Yeah,
there
there
she
it
is."
is. There's the
There
house.
she is. That looks like straight out your granny's kitchen yellow.
Mhm.
It reminds me of, like, something from Coraline.
Yes, it is very cartoonish. It doesn't seem happy. It seems
I know.
heavy.
Yeah, it seems like it doesn't wanna be that color.
No wonder it's sad. They thought painting it yellow would be happy, but nope.
Right.
What color was it before?
I'm in a couple chat rooms. I'm in, like, anonymously in a couple Lizzie Borden chat rooms just to kinda keep in touch with what people are talking about the case and everything, and I get little notifications, and someone posted a picture of it recently and said Lizzie's rolling in her grave, and I was like, I don't think she probably, because Lizzie loved blue. They should have gone with, like, a nice, like, darker blue, like, a or something. That would have been pretty, I think.
You know, it's so funny. I literally just said they should have painted it blue. But before I went to the Lizzie Borden house, I had a vision of a woman in blue. And I was telling Daniel, and this was like, let's see, I think this was Thursday when we got there. So I didn't do any research on the hotel we stayed in. And I mean, I know about the Lizzie Borden house, but I know, you know, pretty basic information, what you've told me, what I've read about, things like that. You know, that's what my knowledge base.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, "I'm seeing this woman in blue. I don't know who she is. Maybe she's connected to the hotel we're staying in." And then we went and we were in the kitchen. They were talking about she was wearing this blue dress, and I, like, smacked him. I was like, "Oh my god, lady in
Blue was
blue."
Blue was always her favorite color. That's why everyone remembers what she was wearing the morning of the murders, because she was wearing pink, and it was very uncommon for her to wear pink. So the fact that she was in this pink wrap was very surprising, because she had
I didn't
been
know
in
that.
because she had been in, blue, I believe it was, like, earlier. No, it was the day before, and so she had said that she had run out of something with her clothes. I'll have to find the exact thing and I'll send it to you, but it was very fascinating to be like, "Hmm, you're wearing pink that morning
I
instead of
didn't know
your
she
blue.
had on pink.
It's a light
Maybe
pink."
she fetched it from her European travels. It was one of her.
Actually, probably true.
Yeah,
Interesting. There's so
Yeah,
much I don't know.
it's been really fun getting to do all this deep dive. I mean, I feel like every time me and Aaron have a meeting, it's literally just comes down to sifting through what information do we use, because there
I
is
know.
so much to try to include.
Yeah, I keep putting in our notes on the script, like, once we're done with the draft, we need to go through and, like, add in just sprinkle in hints of some European something, I don't know. Like, we there's so much to include that right now I think what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get all the necessary stuff in right now, and then on the next few drafts, we can go in and sprinkle in some, like, hints of things that, you know, real Lizzie fans would understand, but isn't necessarily, pivotal to the plot or anything. But yeah, it's so much. It is so much to know. It is so much to remember. Yeah, it's just a lot. I mean, Parallel Lives, the book. Have you all talked about this?
Mm-mm, we didn't talk about this before.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you've seen this, Ashley. This book,
Oh my god, what is that?
look how thick this is. This is a book.
Oh
It
my
is
lord.
it is all about Lizzie's life. It is all about th- any and everything you want to know. It's written by Michael and Dennis, who we met at the Historical Society, and I mean, it's insane. Like all of Fall River societies in this book from that time.
Wow. That's
It's
huge.
Thicker than a
wild.
Harry Potter book.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's how many pages? Let's see. Uh,
It's so many pages.
it's 1,000 pages long. Yeah.
And the print's probably like,
Yeah,
"Tease me."
it's tiny. Tiny.
I
Yeah,
will say
it's
it's so fascinating because when we were at the Historical Society talking with Michael and Dennis, who wrote the book and curated all the information to put in the book, they were able just to open the book straight to where the pages were when they were talking about certain things. Like
mhm.
there were like the prison letters they were talking about that Lizzie wrote while she was in prison, and they just
Dude,
opened the book and turned around the book. And I was like, how do you know where these pages are,
like,
even if you wrote it?
I still just to be able to turn right to it and be like, "Here you
yeah,
go."
here, you wanna know an answer to that obscure question that, no one's ever asked before? Here you go. Here's the answer. Yeah,
Well, that
it's
is
so cool.
that is so cool. When I was doing that tour, because I only did the daytime tour, I was like, "I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Mhm,
I didn't know." I have notes. I asked her if it was okay if I took notes, because I do plan to do an episode about it at some point. But I was like, this is stuff I've never heard before, just and they said, as we find out new information, we change our tour just so that way it's accurate. Because I've heard
mhm.
people say before, "Oh, they just promote the murder and blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "I don't think that's true."
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe at all, and I
Mm-mm.
guess maybe at one point it was sort of like that, where it
Maybe.
was a bit kitschier, but I mean, the tour I went on with you, Cavan, like, it felt very I don't it just felt very factual and,
Yes.
Yep.
interesting and fun and or not fun, I guess that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? It was they made it fun to learn about, I guess. Yeah.
It kept your attention, and
Mhm.
just the artifacts, going in there and seeing the everything that and seeing your brochure, your pamphlet in there. I was like a proud mom. I was like, "Daniel, look." I did the mom Zoom.
Yeah.
"Oh, look, I know them." Oh, yeah,
We
I was
didn't
that
know that they did that until you sent the picture, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, they put
"You're
our
in the
stuff in the."
artifacts thing."
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
so exciting.
They're just so incredibly kind. I text them at least once a week just to check in and see how things are, just because I feel like at this point they're like cousins
Yeah,
and relate with the show where it's just like, "Hey, how is everything?" Because this year is like the really crazy time of year.
yeah.
And on top of, they're getting a lot of visits, they're getting a lot of requests for information because, the Ryan Murphy announced that season 4 of his show Monster is going to be centered around Lizzie
Oh,
Borden.
shit.
So they've been getting a lot of attention from, people coming out for that and stuff too. So it's been great to kind of just talk with them and have them to chat and bounce ideas off with and all that sort of stuff too.
My husband brought up Monster, the Ed Gein, and I just kinda snarled, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "It's inaccurate. It's inaccurate." Like, they're adding in victims that weren't his, like, it was just I get that it's for entertainment, but, I mean, some
Yeah.
of the information that they changed were I mean, that's it's a he didn't kill one of those people at all, had nothing to do with one of those people, and they attributed to him, and then, the romantic relationship, he didn't have any romantic relationships with women.
Yeah.
So,
It's difficult because when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, all we can do is do our homework and be one of the
Mhm.
pieces entering the canon about this story that tries to follow the facts as much as we know until we
Yeah.
can't, and then we will, add our dramatizations on top of that, but
Right.
it's one of those things that I'm interested to see what he does for sure because, especially with what we know with directions that they are potentially heading in, I am interested to see how that plays out,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been nice to have Kara and
Yeah.
Dennis and Michael to be able to go to for stuff because I know a lot of people hadn't done that. We were what Kara told us is we were the first people to approach her on a entertainment level piece to ask for
No.
her consultation and stuff. Yeah.
With all the movies about Lizzie Borden and the Bordens, y'all are the only ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I believe it. I feel like every when I think back and I think about all the documentary shows or movies or TV shows that I've seen of Lizzie, it's not it's not based on fact. It is purely based on the you know they yeah, it just there's so much more to it than that. There's so much more to the
Mhm.
story than that day. There's so much more to the story than the gossip, which is a huge part of the story. The gossip and the speculation at the time, it is undoubtedly a huge part of the story, and
Yeah.
it's not something that we're gonna be shying away from. But when you start making concrete opinions and decisions in your work, that's when you lose me a little bit. That's when it stops becoming so entertaining and it's just like, why did we have to do this? Why was this created?
Well, it's like Ashley in our first episode that we did together, you mentioned that the only thing before you did your research that you knew was the nursery rhyme that everybody knows. The Lizzie
Mhm.
Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks, but none of that's true.
That's not
No,
true
And
either.
none of it.
and so the fact that the majority of the thing that people think is that she did it and she was found guilty, which also is not true, she was
Not true.
acquitted.
Yep.
That actually surprises most people that we talk to with that think they know the case, that they are
Yeah.
surprised that she was acquitted, that they're surprised that that nursery rhyme is not true. And that's
Yeah.
something that's been so important for me why when people are like, "Oh, how many times did you go to the Borden house this year?" And it's like, "I went probably 6 or 7 times." But that's because those check-ins are for me to remind myself that these were real people and
Yeah.
to not forget that they have, in a odd way, become immortalized in this legend and in this character trope, but
Mhm.
it's important to remind ourselves that these were real people that something absolutely horrible happened to. No matter how you look at it. If you look at it from what we know from Lizzie being acquitted, if you say she didn't do it, what happened to her was horrible. To be
Mhm.
put through that after the death of your father and your stepmother, to then have to be waiting in jail for 8 to 9 months,
Mhm.
then have your trial and go like, it's just a horrible thing, especially in that time, it rocked the.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally the world because it was broadcasted.
Yeah, it was, America's first OJ, you
That
know?
exactly. That's exactly
It's
right.
the first and a woman was at the center of it?
Yeah.
Come on, that was, like that's huge. Talk about scandal, and people were so upset. People were so upset that a woman was even on trial. It's crazy, just scandalized the nation.
It's so interesting to look at it too from the perspective of during the course of her trial, it was not about whether or not Lizzie did it in terms of the murder. It was about whether or not a woman was capable of doing this crime.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's so crazy to think that it like over the course of those weeks that the trial was happening, that it literally shifted from being her, but just to the idea of reasonable doubt of could a woman do this
Mhm.
or not? And that's what was on trial at that point, not
Mhm.
Lizzie. Lizzie just happened to be the
Yeah.
vessel for that idea.
And weren't they, like, more focused not everybody, because I think there was one reporter that was more focused on the trial and the outcome, but everybody else was like, "This is what she wore. This is how she acted. This is."
Mhm.
Elizabeth Jordan was the only one that reported Lizzie as and she was the only woman allowed to cover the case. She was the only one that reported on the actual happenings of the trial and speaking up that Lizzie was being incredibly strong and incredibly brave for a woman in her position, while everyone else was calling her the Sphinx of coldness and all of these things, talking about why did she wear such clothes on this day, blah, 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 talking about her hats with the lace and the gloves.
Oh
And
Mhm.
my god.
yeah,
people. Not much has changed, has it?
No. No, 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 no.
All these years later.
Yeah. It's just a cycle. It just keeps,
I know.
history repeats itself.
Yes, it does, sadly, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing of, like, when we talk about when we're writing this show and the conversations we have of, why is this still relevant? And it's just exactly what we're talking about. Some things have changed, but the majority of it hasn't. It's just shifted in what it looks like. And that is just one of the things that I think why people keep coming back to this case is just because it did transcend its time. It was way ahead of its time in a lot of its things, but also just the ideas and concepts of it have held up for 130 years, and that's why, you know, we wanna add something to the canon that keeps people talking about it for, an extra push for that another 130 years after this, but
Right, and doing it from Emma's point of view. There's some people, they don't even know Lizzie has a sister, and they don't
Mhm.
know her name, but, it's interesting. I loved it when you first told me, I still love it, just knowing that you're taking that outside the box approach, looking at it from an outsider's perspective. I do love that. Now, are you still planning to do the show at the Borden house?
whenever we have something completed, we'll definitely go back to do it there because, unfortunately, some things with scheduling and things fell through this past year where we were supposed to do it. But honestly, I think that was for the better because now we can come back and really make the time whenever we do go back to the house to do it. It'll be a much more curated, thought out event than what it was gonna be before. But, yeah, the house is always asking, "When are you all gonna come back with some stuff?" So it's nice to know that people are excited about it, and we're excited about it too. We got a lot of stuff cooking up, so it'll be fun.
I'm so excited. I'm very excited. The fact that I was up there in September, I was thinking of I didn't realize that the August show didn't move forward. I had
Yeah.
no clue, and then you and we were talking before I came up to Massachusetts, and you're like, "Yeah, it got canceled or postponed or something," and I was like, "What?" But so there's still a chance for me.
Everything happens for a reason. No, as soon as we have something else, we'll give you a
You're
call.
there. You are
I'm
there.
I love me I don't mind flying one bit, even though it's a little freaky to fly nowadays, but I will come. I'm not driving though. That's 16 hours. I'm not driving.
But yeah, come on up. We'll get you in. You can be at whatever you want. So for that concert, you can come up to New York whenever we have our workshops. You can come up whenever, Ashley. You're in
Oh,
the room.
York.
Yeah.
Have
I
you ever
haven't
been up
been.
here?
Not recently. I was a criminal justice major with focuses in psychology and sociology and human behavior. And I did field studies up in New York and Washington, D.C. when I was a junior and senior in college. And so I did a field study with Coast Guard, FBI, and ICE. And boy,
Wow.
long time ago. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I was up there for about a week. And
Wow.
the most memorable thing in New York, though, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. I'm standing downtown somewhere, don't know, tall buildings, and there was thunder and it cracked and then echoed. And I remember it was like,
Storms in the city are unlike anything else
They're
anywhere else.
crazy
It's
because they can
crazy.
like come around corners. Like it's wild. I got stuck in a
oh my God,
what is it called when the snow it's a snowstorm that happens really a squall?
Oh, a
Is that
snow
what it's called?
squall.
A
Yes.
snow squall? Okay, I got stuck in one of those in the city, and that was scary. Yeah, they're not fun. Do you know
huh.
what that is, Ashley?
I have no idea, but it sounds
Oh
horrible.
my god. Well, it's basically like mini blizzards, but they just pop up out of nowhere. So they're called squalls. I don't know what that means or what, the etymology of that word is, but it's wild. I don't even know how to spell it.
Wait,
Squall, maybe?
squall.
It's because isn't it because of, like, the long avenues and the blocks and the
Yeah.
buildings and how things just kinda whip through there?
Yeah, they just whip. Wind is crazy. There's an alley right next to my window, and sometimes when the wind is super strong, the wind will start coming through little pockets in my window, and my windows will, like, scream at me.
Well, that's nice.
So nice. It's lovely.
Speaking of the windows screaming, I think that you need to spend the night in the Borden house, Ashley, and do a
Yeah.
report, like a document
You
your night in the
should. You
Borden
should
house.
document your night. It was very active. Like, I energetically, it was great. I I had a great time. You'd have a great episode there.
I just got back from Kansas City and I went to 3 different locations, and one of the locations I spent the night in, and I love going to haunted hotels and haunted Airbnbs and stuff like that. Usually it doesn't bother me. There were so many kid spirits in the second location. It was the Belvoir Winery, and so at
Huh.
Galore, they were playing with my hair. I felt little fingertips just all in my
Mm.
hair, and I was like, "Okay, they like the color. It's soft." But at Belvoir, I could feel them in my room. Like, I was talking to the lady that I was staying in the room with, Tony, and we were sitting there talking, and I felt them come, and I'm like, like, it's such a different energy, and I had a hard time sleeping because I told him, "Don't look at me while I'm sleeping. Don't come and
Mm.
stand over me and stare at me, okay? And please don't grab my feet, please. I need to have one foot out to be comfortable. Please don't grab my feet." But it was really hard to sleep in, so I don't know if I could sleep at Lizzie Borden or if I would just sit there like this. "Hello."
Aim
Yeah,
for the Abby and
maybe.
Andrew room.
Yeah, the Abbey Enter room was definitely it did feel a lot calmer compared to any of the other rooms in the house for sure. But, yeah, there are a couple kiddos in the Borden house as well.
Yes, there are.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's who I think we had responding to us on certain things that we
Yeah,
had because
for
it's
sure.
the way that it would spike and then go away, it felt like someone was just kind of, like,
They were playing with
doing
it.
that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was really
and
sweet.
kid energy is very fast moving.
Mhm. Very fast. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting though in that house because we talked about the energy and, like, in the house and how, like, you feel heavy, but something about it feels, like, cozy and lived in and all these things.
Yes.
Mhm.
The basement was a whole other entity of a
Yeah.
I literally don't know how to describe it other than the basement is a place that, like, you can sleep in the basement. That's, like, a new option that they have added to, like, the
Pass.
experience. The basement, I literally got goosebumps just thinking about it. There's something in that back corner of that basement. I
So,
Yeah.
don't know.
do you mean back corner, like, if you walk down the stairs and you have over here is where that kinda, like, tuck in where the back stairs are, and then you have the
Mhm.
Mhm.
middle, I guess, like, the seance area. Do you mean the
Mhm.
back corner, like,
Beyond
where
that.
they
Yeah,
had
Yep.
kinda
beyond yeah,
blocked
yeah.
off?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't go back there.
Yeah, I was fine in the basement, and then Caven was like, "I'm gonna go in the back corner," and I was like, "Friend, you can do whatever you wanna do. I'm not going in that back corner,
Live
okay?
your best life.
Yeah, get your life. I'm not losing mine, okay? So, I'm gonna stay right over here, and I'll see you in a minute."
Let me know. Report back.
Yeah.
Gonna be
It's
right
funny
over.
because as soon as I went over there, I felt something. I don't know what I felt, but I literally, like, retreated like a little puppy dog. I was like, "Nope, back over here we go."
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, when I went to Missouri State Penitentiary, I lost the people I was with. I didn't lose them, but they didn't realize one group didn't realize I was coming with them, and the other group forgot something and turned around and went back down. And so I was like, "Wait, where are you going?" And then I turn around and the people in front of me are gone, and I'm like, "Wait." And then I'm standing in outside the psychiatric ward, and this is a very dark prison at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm looking around like, "Where'd you go?" I don't hear them. I look around a corner and I see a giant man with a flashlight, and I'm like, "I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's dead. I'm not gonna find out. Enjoy that." And I turned around and I was like, "Ah, I'm alone." And so I went back down the stairs and I was able to find the group that had turned around. I was
Yeah.
like, I was alone. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it's spooky. It is definitely
Yes.
spooky. I haven't been into many haunted places, I guess, but that was spooky.
The Borden house, the first time I stayed there, I stayed by myself. Like, I was, like, by myself as just me that went, but also the entire house was just me. There was no one
No.
else staying in the house that night.
What room were you in?
And Bridget's upstairs,
Whoa.
Oh, no.
which you're separated so far away from the rest of the house,
Mhm.
and I heard so many little noises. I told Aaron and Audrey this. That was the first trip that I went when I had a draft of the show. I took it into that room and I was about to go to dinner and I opened the binder with the script in it and I said, "Here is the script. I'm bringing this to the house for whoever's here to look at. I would love to have the blessing of the Bordens or whoever is here connected to the Bordens to do this show. Because a part of me, like, there are stories that I really want to tell and write, but I just can't because I don't want to do disservice to families that are still living that are associated to things. And, especially with this show, I was like, there are no direct family members. So it is kind of one of those stories that you can just tell. But I wanted permission from them. And so I opened the binder and I said, I'm going to go to dinner. When I come back, I would love for you to give me some sort of sign that you approve or you disapprove. And I went out for dinner and I came back. The binder had been sifted through all the way to the back and it was to the back page and was closed and it wasn't thrown across the room or anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take that as the blessing. Thank you so much. And that was that.
Oh, that gave me chills.
Ain't that spooky?
That is spooky. They like it. They like
Yeah.
it. They're like, "This is good. This is nice." They're not making Lizzie out to be this monster, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just trying to
Mhm.
make her human.
It is very humanizing to go in and see their things, their books, their beds,
Yes,
their
yes.
the pictures, because you see the pictures, but just seeing them on the wall, and then it's like, I don't know, standing there next to the piano, like, they stood here. This isn't a recreation, like, Dolly Parton has the recreation of her house at
Mhm.
a Dollywood. That's not her house that she grew up in, but that was a recreation. This is the
This is the
actual
house.
house. Yes, it's like, they stood here, they lived here, they died here.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's a very, like we talked about, a very sobering thing. And I want to give Lance, who owns the house, his proper dues because the fact that he, you know, takes the time and the care to ensure that the house is restored and kept in good shape is so incredibly special because I mean, I think about all the other things in history that have just been
mhm.
lost to people that own it that just don't care about it and they let it fall to just, repair or whatever, but the care that he puts into that facility to make sure that it's, taken care of is really special. I also want to give a shout out to those listening to Megan, Elena, and Rick at the Borden house. They always take such good, and Ashley, they always take such good care of us when we're there. So if you're going out and you see them, give them the best love and all the things because they're great.
I love that, and I love that they allow people like me and you, of course, but, people who are just going to visit, they allow people to come in there and do the tours and tell the history and take the time to care about the story that they are telling. Because it really does make a difference when you have somebody who truly is passionate about the story they're telling versus somebody who's just like, "Meh, okay, mm,
Yeah, yeah, totally. And
I won't
you
name
can
names."
tell they really also appreciate that we are those kinds of people that want to do good on that community.
Yeah. So, has just to circle back to the musicals, it's still a musical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Do you have the same actresses and actors, or has anything like that changed, or
I mean, that we've had people that, there have been the majority of the people that have been doing readings and everything when we've had little table readings have just been friends that are incredibly talented, so, we don't have anyone secured in on roles yet just because
Oh, okay,
part of
okay.
the part of the development process is,
Well,
just
I'm
hearing it through.
available. Just I'm just kidding.
Ashley.
Well, hello. I cannot
Yes.
sing or dance, but I'm available.
It's been it's been really cool though because the people that have lent their talents in the previous versions before Aaron and Audrey and Neetha came on were the people playing Lizzie and Emma in each reading that I did, just because it was nice to hear those voices also grow with the show in a development process.
Mhm.
But the other part, the other side of the development process is the exciting thing about hearing new voices and bringing in, new people to read the role because the roles until we're in that theater, wherever the theater is, and we're freezing the show for a performance, it's ever evolving and it's a breathing, living thing, and that's the really fun part about creating something like this.
I love it. I love it. Can't wait. I'm, like, manifesting Broadway. One day, I'm manifesting. I told my
Broadway.
husband, "I'm telling you." Unless you don't wanna be to Broadway, then I'll manifest
No,
something
no,
else.
hey, from your mouth to God's ears, please.
I'm a great manifester. What I
Yes.
want, I get. So,
Well, there we go.
And that's been the really cool thing, and I think I said this last time we talked, is, like, the really cool thing about this whole thing is literally just the community and people that have found us to, like, talk about it even in such an early stage because, like,
mhm,
I don't know how many other shows get to, like, oddly have a large following on social media, not that that matters, but people that have just found it before it's
mhm.
even a completed thing, and I think that that has just been also something so special that we definitely feel that, like, there are people that wanna hear this story, and, like,
Yeah.
anytime I'm having a down day or something like that, I just remember that, like, there is a reason we're telling this, and there now that I found this group of people that's also in a line to tell this story, it just feels like a very kismet thing, um, and I'm excited for all the things.
The universe has a way. I
Damn
always
right.
I always tell my kids because they're middle schoolers. I have 3 teenagers, okay? It's rough in my house, and I'm in my early 40s, so it is rough in my house, and I always tell my kids, they don't believe me, they think I haven't lived. They think I'm stupid. "Ugh, mom, bruh." Like, "Bruh?" The universe has a way of putting you where you're supposed to be exactly when you're supposed to be there, and you don't have to understand it in the meantime, but just respect it and appreciate it that even that when things seem to be going wrong, sometimes things have to fall apart in order to get where it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Very true.
So, I so excited. I'm so glad you reached out because I was like, "Woo!
Say
I
I
love
was
it."
it's one of those things I'm so glad that we got to chat, and I'm mad that I, missed you in September, but, next time we'll have a thing in person with all of us, and we can all get together and chat and everything more.
Just let me know. I got my American Airlines credit card and I am earning those points. So,
Well, there we
just
go.
let me know. And I love to fly by myself because that means nobody's talking to me. I can just kinda like my husband snores. So, even when he travels with me, he's sleeping. So, if I'm by myself, at least I don't have anybody snoring, like, right here, like a
I
big man
understand.
breathing in my ear. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, push you out of the plane." But okay, well, to wrap things up, is there anything that you want to tell the listeners or
I would just leave people with do your own research. I think that, like, if you're interested in something, do your own research because I think that's a big joy of mine throughout all this is just I've always loved this story and it's so fun to know that I only ever knew the tip of the iceberg with this, and I'm just uncovering so much. It is so much fun to delve into a special interest of yours and give it the attention that it deserves. It's fun. It's a way to nourish yourself. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of corny, but yeah,
no, it's not. It's great. It's a form of
yeah,
self-care.
it is. Yeah,
I would say that let this be if you listen to this and you are also a creative or somebody who's ever wanted to make something, to just do it. And I think that it sounds so cliche, that's something we hear all the time, but you never know what something's gonna become until you set it in motion, and that can even be you're on an airplane and you have an idea for a play or a book or whatever, and you write it down on a napkin and fold it in your pocket, and then you find it 4 months later whenever the time's right, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what about that napkin I wrote that idea on?" Or whatever it might be. You never know what something's gonna become, and so I think if this can be in any way, shape, or form that launching pad for somebody to go out and tell a story that's been on their heart, then I have done my job, and I encourage everyone to go do it because I think that's just very important right now.
yeah. I
It's
think
so
I'm.
funny
And
that you said napkin.
you go, Ashley.
Okay. My my grandfather had a business idea in a restaurant or a bar, probably a bar. He was probably in a cigar bar or something back in the 1964, and he wrote it down on a napkin. And he built the largest family-owned business in the Southeast, and we actually sold last year.
Oh my gosh.
Yep,
I
and it's
mean,
still open. Still open today. My husband still works for them. It's just not family business anymore. But yep, he
Yeah.
started on
Yeah,
a napkin.
that's amazing. But just proves Caven's point. Just
Yep.
you won't know until nothing can fail if it's not out there, right? Like I think people have, or me specifically in my creative process, I've had a lot of fear of something not being good. And then I just don't do it at all because I
Yeah.
either want it to be perfect or nothing. And,
Right.
it's okay to fail forward, but at
That's
least you're
right.
doing something and it will get better. But you got to do something about it first for it to fail.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. You have to fail to learn and grow.
Yeah. And for anything to be anything. Like,
Yeah.
we are going to write multiple drafts of this show before it is put up in front of an audience. And that's just the way it will be, and I'm so excited to go on that journey. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. I know it's coming. I can feel it in my bones. It's coming. I can't wait to see it.
I'm excited too. I feel it too. Every time I ever am doubting it, I'm like, nope.
Nope.
It's made it this far for a reason, and it's always been a story on my heart since I was 6 years old, and now that I have the people that I need to tell it, I'm like, let's go, let's
I'm
do it,
sorry. That
and
still shocks me.
6.
6.
it's so funny because Kara was in the
Yes.
episode of History's Mysteries that
Ah,
I watched when I was 6. And now that I get to call her a collaborator and a friend on this show is like fucking bananas to
I
me.
know. Isn't that so? You were sitting there at age 6 watching, because I haven't seen that one, but I'm guessing she's speaking about
Mhm.
the history, and you're watching her, and now, all these years later, you were collaborating with her.
mhm,
It was right as she started researching Lizzie in the 90s.
Wow.
Because I think it came out in it was like 2001, 2002 is when that episode came out on History's Mysteries.
You were 6 in
And
2001?
around that time, yeah.
I was graduating high school.
If my math is mathing in this moment, which I did not ever do well in math,
Me
then
neither.
yeah.
It's fine.
Um, but I'll send you the documentary because I actually saved it.
Yes,
I
send that to
found
me.
it online and I downloaded it, so I'll send it to you because anytime I'm feeling down in the dumps, I go back and I watch that one because it's like that's what got
That's
me
what
started on
started
this in the
it.
first place.
I absolutely love it. I can't wait. I'm excited. Where can everybody find y'all? If they wanna come and connect with you, where can they find you?
If you would like to follow the show on Instagram, it's at Borden Musical on everything from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And then if you would like to follow me personally, I am linked in the bio on the Borden page.
I am also linked in the bio
And
on
And
the
so is
Borden
Aaron.
Aaron.
page. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
the only social media I do is Instagram. I'm actually trying to wean myself off of it, but yes, you can find me there if you'd like, or you can email me if you can find it on your own. That's it.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
Aaron
find
said,
me.
"The paparazzi, please."
Please get out of my face. Yeah.
No, no, no more. Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, everybody, y'all go follow them and also follow me. I'm out there. Ghost Gossip Podcast, Ghost Gossip Pod. You'll see my face and email all your ghost gossip, and I will tell you my email address. It's ghostgossip247@gmail.com. Until next time, they'll see you later.
Gossip gather round where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghost gossip don't make a sound. Truth or tales will dig it out.